Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I will be helping you how to do the steering, where to hold the steering, the best place for you to hold, and also when you get confused where the steering is, how do you correct it? Sometimes when you do the parking or the maneuvers, you get confused where the steering is. If you do, how do you correct it? What method should you be using for you to know where the steering is if you get confused? So these are the things I'm going to help you in this video. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and let's start the lesson. Okay, so in this video we will be talking about where to hold the wheel, how to do the steering, and if you get confused, how to correct and get the steering in the correct position. So first, let's talk about where to hold the steering. Now imagine steering like a clock face. Okay, this is the steering and it's like a clock. This would be 12 o'clock, this would be 6 o'clock. So always imagine steering like a clock face. Holding position is been advised for you to hold either 10 to 2 or quarter to 3. So 10 to 2 would be one hand here and one there. That's 10 to 2 if it was a clock. So if it was a clock, this would be 10 to 2, and that's where you would hold in one of the position. And the other one would be quarter to 3. So one hand here and one there. So that would be quarter to 3. But this car, or the car that I am driving, which I will show you in practice, has a bar in the middle, which means if I hold it here, I don't get the full grip. So I prefer holding there. And regardless the bar in the middle, I prefer personally holding it 10 to 2 because I get better grip and I find it more comfortable. So for you, if you find it comfortable at 10 to 2 or quarter to 3, whichever you prefer to hold, that will be good for you. So that's how you hold the steering. Secondly, how do you steer? Now, steering, you don't cross hands and you do pull and push technique. So you don't cross hands, so your right hand and your left hand. Your right hand could only go top up to 12 o'clock and bottom up to 6 o'clock, and the left hand could only go top up to 12 o'clock and bottom up to 6 o'clock. So you don't cross each other. You could only go far as 12 and 6 underneath. Now firstly, when you're holding the wheel, don't hold it too firm but not too light, enough for you to get the grip and enough for you to turn. So make sure it's not heavy-handed and it's too firm. Make sure it is quite light and you could feel it and going round up and down easily. So in the beginning, feel the wheel and get the feel of the steering so you get the feel of it. So let's say you want to go left. This is your hand, that's your hand. You're holding as normal, you're driving, and you want to go left, which is that way. So you'll be steering left, which is that way. Now, if you want to steer left, you hold a bit firm with the left hand, the steering, and you loosen this hand. Then you take the left hand down with the steering up to 6 o'clock, and this hand, just the hand will come down, but not the steering, because the steering left. So you take the steering with the left hand down, this hand just come down here, and then when you come here, remember this hand can't go more than 6 o'clock. So from 6, this hand will take it up, and this hand will just go without the steering, and this one go all the way to 12 o'clock. Remember, up to 12, the right hand can go. So when it goes to 12, you, with the left hand, you hold, loosen the left hand and the right hand, and the left hand will take it down to 6, and this one will just come down without the wheel, just on its own. So basically, you take it with one hand and you loosen the other hand and go to the place of the other. So basically you pull with one hand and you push it with the other. So take it with one hand, whichever way, and then take it with the other one from the position that you finish. So say if you're going right, you would hold it firmly with your right hand and take the right hand down with the steering. The left hand loosen up and just comes without the wheel, and from there you would take it up. So you pull it with one and you push it with the other. Now regards to steering, this is the normal position in the middle, and it is the straight position. From this position, how much can you steer to the left and how much can you steer to the right? Now to the left, you can steer one full circle and then another nearly half. That's one side. And then to take it back, you take the half back and then one more circle to get the wheel back. And to the right is the same. You would do one circle to the right and then another nearly half. And to take it back, you take the half back and then one more circle. So from the straight position, it goes to the left 1.5 or just less than half, so 1 and nearly half, and to the right is the same 1 and nearly half. So if you do full right lock, it will go one circle and another half. To take back, you take half back and then one more circle back. To the left is the same. You do one full circle and then half, and to take it back again to get the wheel straight, you take half back and then one more circle back. And that's how much you steer left and right. Now let's talk about if you're confused with the steering, what do you do? So say you came and you stopped, and by mistake you've steered one turn to the left and you stopped. Now the wheel looks straight, but you don't know whether this is straight or not. So how do you know this is straight or not, or how do you correct? You got two methods. One method is to go forward a little bit with the clutch control, just slightly forward. If the car is straight, it will go straight and you will know this is straight. If it's not, and say the steering is towards right, the car will go towards right and you will know this is towards right, upside down. So if the car is going towards right, it means it needs to be one full circle to the left to get it straight. If it's going towards left, you do one full circle to the right to get it right. Okay, so if the wheel looks straight but it's actually upside down, then go forward a bit and see if the car goes straight. If it doesn't, the way it's going, do the opposite. So if it's going towards left, do one full circle to the right, and if it's going towards right, do one circle to the left, and that will be straight. And the other method is that when many learners, when they are doing maneuvers or doing parking, they have a lot to do in the parking and they forget where the wheel is at the end, or halfway they actually forget where the wheel is, whether it's one upside down or not, or maybe one towards left or one towards right, and they get confused where the wheel is. So in that case, how do you correct the wheel? So say the wheel is steered towards right a little bit, and maybe it's towards right slightly steered, and you don't know whether this is straight or not, or which way to steer to get the wheel straight. You're confused. So what do you do? Now, the best way, the second method, is take the wheel towards one end. So steer full right lock one end, or left lock to the end. If you go to the end, then you know all you have to do is take 1.5 back opposite. So say you're confused and you've decided to take the wheel towards right fully. So do full right lock, and then for you to get the wheel straight, all you do is take half and one more circle and the wheel will be straight. And that's the second method. Okay, so if you get confused, take the wheel to one end and then just take 1.5 back and it will be straight. I hope this is clear to you. Now I'm going to show you how it's done in practice. Now, firstly, let's talk about where to hold the steering wheel. Now, imagine your steering like a clock face. Now, if it is a clock face, this would be 10 to 2. That's one of the places where you could hold, or you could hold it at quarter to 3, which is here. Now, the problem with quarter to 3 in this car is that bar in the middle, which means you can't get any grip on there. So in this car, best place to hold is 10 to 2. So in your car, you can decide where you want to hold. You could either hold it on 10 to 2 or quarter to 3, because these are the places it's been advised for you to hold. I personally find comfortable holding at 10 to 2, but it depends on where you find it comfortable. So it's either 10 to 2 or quarter to 3. Then feel the steering and don't hold too tight. So feel the steering going up and down a few times just to get used to it, and then hold at the place where you want to hold. So in this case, I'm holding at 10 to 2. Now, how do you steer? Now, the way you steer, what we normally call it is pull and push technique. So you pull it with one and you push it with the other. So say you want to steer left. You hold the left hand and loosen up the right hand, and you take the steering with the left and take the right hand down and then pull it up with the right and do the same. Left down, right up. And then you do the same. Now you're going to go down with the right down, left up, right down, left up, and that's how it works. Okay, now always remember that imagine steering wheel like a clock face. So if it was a clock, imagine where 12 o'clock is and imagine where 6 o'clock is. Each hand could only go up 12 o'clock and down 6 o'clock. So your left hand could only go down to 6 o'clock and it could go up to 12 o'clock. Same with the right hand. You could go up to 12 o'clock and you could go down to 6 o'clock, which means you rescue with the other. So you pull with one or you steer with one hand, loosen up the other, and then you rescue with the other hand by holding it and take it up or down. And that's how you steer. You pull with one and you push it with the other. Now let's talk about how much can we steer. Now imagine your steering is straight, which is at the moment. On the left it will go 50% and on the right it will go 50%. So you could steer left 50% and you could steer right 50%. So let's see how much can we steer on the left and on the right. Now let's steer right and see how much it goes. So if you steer right, as you can see here, one full circle, and then see how much more. Another nearly half. So it's one and nearly half goes to the right, which means it will be the same on the left. Now that we have steered full right lock, let's get the wheel straight to see how to get it straight. So now we will steer left half and then full circle. So steer left half and then full circle. Now the wheel is straight. And when we steer left, it's the same amount, which means we steer full circle to the left and then another nearly half. And then to get it straight, we take half back and then full circle to the left, and this is straight. Now let's talk about how to know if the wheel is straight or not. Sometimes we get confused whether if the wheel is straight or not. So say you stopped and you are now confused whether if the wheel is straight or not. And it looks straight because it is straight, but maybe the wheel is one upside down, maybe one circle to the left or one circle to the right, and it looks straight but it's not. So how do we know? The best way to know in this case is to do the clutch control and just move the car slightly forward. If the car is straight, it will go straight. If it's on the left or right, then the car will start to go left or right. So say you are going forward just to test if the car is straight and it's going towards left. It means it needs to go one circle to the right. And if it wants to go right, or if the car is moving towards right, that means the steering needs to go one full circle to the left. It's always the opposite. So if the car starts to go left, it means the steering needs to go one full circle to the right. And if it's going towards right, it means it needs to go one full circle to the left. Now, just say you've just done a parking or a maneuver and your car is on this position with the steering. Now you are confused and you don't know where the wheel is. Now for you to take the wheel back from this position or any confused position, best thing to do is to take the steering in one side so you know where the wheel is. So do full left lock in this case, and this is how much it goes to the left, which means that you take 1.5 towards right and it will be straight. So take the half back and then full circle one more, and you know the wheel is straight. So the best way to do is, like I said, take the wheel towards one side. So in this case, do full right lock, and you know it's on the right lock. All you do is do half left and then full left, and the wheel is straight. So just to remind again so that you know, if you feel confused with the steering, all you do is take the wheel on one side, either to the left or to the right, and just take the wheel back. So if you do full left lock, all you do is take 1.5 back towards right, and if you do full right lock, all you do is take 1.5 back towards left, and that will be the wheel straight. And that's the other method I would advise for you to do if you get confused with the steering. Always remember to do the pull and push technique on your steering. So don't cross hands, but pull and push. You pull with one and you push it with the other. And always remember that 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock is the limit for each hand. So both hands could go on top at 12 o'clock, and on the bottom it could only go up to 6 o'clock. So 12 on the top and 6 on the bottom. And don't cross hands is pull and push technique. You push with one and you pull it with the other. That's how you steer. Okay, that's it for today, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give a thumbs up, and please make a comment what you think of the video. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.